Sorry, I was trying to do like a cool spring up intro, but I just ended up knocking everything over. Please appreciate all the organizing I'm gonna have to do after this. So we're all familiar with Beetlejuice, right? I mean, come on, it's a cultural icon. I found this in a clothing store. But there's more to Beetlejuice than meets the eye. Well, we might all think of that original first movie that, of course, everybody loves because you'd have to be insane not to. There is more to the story. There's more to this franchise than just one movie. There's of course the sequel, but there's also the musical, the animated series, and so much more. And I'm going to be diving into not only how all of it's fantastic, but how all of it might reveal more about the Beetlejuice franchise than we ever thought was possible. Wait a minute.
That's not how it works, idiots.
What?
Over here. You have to say my name 3 times in a row without any words in between, okay?
Okay, well that's how they treated
I
it.
don't care what you think happened in the first movie.
Okay, that's actually a good point. And we're going to discuss later how that's a common misconception that was actually cleared up in some of the source material from the later sequels and the other series. And okay, fine. I'll do it right. Be so picky. 3 times in it, okay? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
It's showtime! Hello, folks. I am actually going to do this voice for the entire video. Hooray for my throat! As said by that punk at the beginning, I assume you're all familiar with yours truly. But there's more to me than just one movie. So let's go through my every single appearance and exactly what this universe has to offer that's a little bit more than what's on the surface. The first time Beetlejuice appeared was, of course, in the hit 1980-something or other movie starring Michael Keaton, directed by Tim Burton. But as you may not be shocked to hear, there was actually several other iterations of the character before this movie. Believe it or not, it wasn't supposed to be a supernatural comedy, but a genuine, terrifying horror movie. And Burton wasn't even the original director, nor did he want to be. Tim Burton famously wanted to create the new Batman movie that he eventually would. But before they give somebody such a valuable IP, they've gotta make sure that that person can direct a killer movie. So of course they handed in the script to Beetlejuice. The original script for Beetlejuice was absolute mayhem, or rather not. It was actually a rather straightforward story when you compare it to the chaos that is the first movie. Instead of saying his name 3 times like Bloody Mary, oh shoot, there's a window over there. Not gonna say it again just to be safe. Me and her had a kind of a bad breakup, if you know what I mean.
Why do I improvise the dumbest jokes?
But instead, Beetlejuice was summoned by digging up his corpse, which actually did kind of make its way into the final film. Also, he was meant to be a demon that looks like this. A far cry from this. As a matter of fact, the Beetlejuice design wasn't even finalized until Michael Keaton was sitting in the makeup chair and said on a whim,
Give me mold.
It was so undecided that people didn't even know what he was gonna look like until he walked on set, at which point everybody started chanting, Juice, 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 juice. So if I don't see everybody in the comments chanting the same thing for me, I'll kill you, I swear. Then of course, the chaos of the original movie went from there. However, the original movie doesn't just star Beetlejuice. I know, I'm sorry. I had a very tight schedule. I couldn't be there to film every day. Alright, it's not my fault. Instead, it follows these two, Adam and Barbara. And although they look like terrifying little demons here, normally they're a boring married couple. The two were designed to be as basic as possible, which is ironic seeing as they're played by Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. For all those of you wondering, I don't have like a script of information. I just know all this. I really like this franchise. Also, any factual errors are because I'm in character, not because I just got something wrong. Delete your comment. Adam and Barbara are living their best lives in this beautiful house that... Who built that? Like seriously, what architect would design a house to look like this? They're having great lives until, of course, the two of them die in a tragic dog-related car accident where they drown in a lake. That's my favorite part of the movie. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Oh, they're dead. And fun fact, on their car is a bumper sticker saying, we break for pets. Yeah, you did do that, didn't you? When they come back, they realize they're ghosts, and someone else is moving into their house. This, of course, is that guy. Why are there so many named Jeffrey? Is it a thing? Does anybody know any not pedophile Jeffreys? That'd be really nice to know. As well as a tiny little baby Will's mom from Stranger Things. And of course, Catherine O'Hara. May she rest in peace. She brought us many great years of laughter, and I'm sure they won't stop even now that she's passed. For all of eternity, she will be yelling from the afterlife waiting room. We love you, Catherine. When they realize that the entire Afterlife Association of Dimwits is actually the most useless thing on the entire planet, they decide they need somebody a little more freelance. So they call on good old BJ. Oh, get your minds out of the gutter. It stands for Beetlejuice. But after I may or may not have permanently traumatized a few children and caused irreversible medical damage to one of them, apparently that's a red flag and is not appropriate in a professional setting. Yeah, that's fair. So after a few shenanigans, I end up getting eaten by a sandworm. Which, fun fact, wasn't even in the original movie when they started shooting. This scene where Adam runs outside and gets attacked by a sandworm was originally him running from CGI gears. Who thought that was a good idea? I'm so glad you changed it. Whoa, you've been to Saturn? Wait a minute. Giant CGI Metal Gears? You hate them, right? I hate them! And originally, when I get eaten by the sandworm at the end of the movie, I was supposed to die. Again. I don't know, that seems to be the one thing I'm good at. But after test audiences said how much they loved the character, it was changed that I appeared in the waiting room and just got my head shrunk, which, honestly, was a pretty good look for me. Then Beetlejuice disappeared off of your TV screens, never to be seen again until the sequel, which was just gonna come out in a few years. That's right, there was almost a Beetlejuice sequel that went with the original movie, and it was called, I kid you not, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. And it's the greatest thing I've ever read. The script for Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian is actually available online. Please go read it. I promise, if you like Beetlejuice, you will not regret it. I'm so sad that they didn't make this the actual movie. I would have loved it so much. It got flamed for being stupid because there's a scene where they're all mermaids and singing, and Beetlejuice impersonates a Texan billionaire to win a surfing competition. I don't know, sounds perfect to me. Along with getting way more Beetlejuice in this movie, we would have gotten more antics, more scares, and so much more fun. But we can't have nice things. Yes, we must go Hawaiian. I really wanted to make that movie, okay? God, it would have been so good. Instead, Tim Burton went on to work on the Batman movie he wanted to make. Still haven't watched it. I probably should. I don't know, is that the one with the nipples on the costume? Instead, Beetlejuice would return in the form of an animated series. Beetlejuice the Animated Series. I'm not nearly as animated when I'm doing this because this figure's hat falls off all the stinking time. Burton was given a choice between a Batman animated series and a Beetlejuice animated series. Given how much he seemingly loved Batman, I'm kind of confused why he didn't take the Batman one, but I am so glad he didn't. Beetlejuice the Animated Series seems like something that would be a random cash grab or some fever dream memory you have, but it's actually super good, and anyone I've talked to who remembers it from their childhood absolutely loved it. The show had 4 seasons. 4 seasons of episodes that somehow managed to only get better and better. The first season is fantastic. Instantly iconic. Great theme song. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Oh my goodness, I haven't sung in this voice in so long. Oh, that does a number on you. This is my first video on Beetlejuice, but I'm probably gonna make extra videos covering the animated series and Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian because they're so fantastic and deserve way more love than they get. Can I tease my hair with Freddy Krueger claws? Holy crap, that actually kinda worked. I lost my comb in case you're wondering why I resorted to that. The animated series is the first time we were introduced to the idea of alternate universes within Beetlejuice. Now, as you might notice, there's tons of differences in this. For one, he's blonde. Additionally, him and Lydia are bestest friends. How adorable. He did try to marry you in the original movie. So it is a little weird, but it's mostly fine. They basically fulfill the rule of a Saturday morning cartoon with this one. Because they literally are a Saturday morning cartoon with this one. And, shock of all shocks, it's actually really good. Every single episode kind of has that sort of Simpsons quality, where it starts off with one plot, and then completely devolves into a different plot. Somehow, and it still works. Why do shows do that? I don't hate it, but I'd like to know why. Beetlejuice had a new voice actor here as well, which, admittedly, I'm embarrassed to say is the only name I don't know off the top of my head. So there it is. This series mainly existed because of the absolute explosion of children being interested in Beetlejuice. It was that perfect level where it was still, child-focused enough that it could be a family movie that everyone enjoyed, while also having enough mature themes to get people into more intense horror movies and stuff like that later. Not that I would know anything about that. My entire horror collection is just out of frame here, so please ignore all that. The series was a smash success, although for some reason very few people remember it, even though at the time it was a huge commercial success. I think the only merchandise ever made of it was the Burger King toys, and then eventually these figures later when people started having nostalgics. But despite the absolute success of the series, it would only get 4 seasons, and then Beetlejuice would basically disappear off the face of the earth. I mean movie-wise and show-wise. He was still a pop culture icon. Beetlejuice has always infested pop culture. Walk into your local Spirit Halloween and you're just as likely to find as many Ghostface masks as you are pieces of Beetlejuice merchandise. Actually, that's a lie. I just remembered how many Ghostface masks they have. But you know what I mean. Beetlejuice is an ever-iconic piece of pop culture. And specifically, it was popular with that, Hot Topic theater kids section. Not that I would know anything about that demographic. I swear I'm not an emo. I only have this eyeshadow for this. That's not even eyeshadow. Technically, it's eye paint. I don't like putting on eyeshadow. It hurts my eyes and they water a lot. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm not a wimp. But because of this, it was only inevitable that Beetlejuice got a musical. The Beetlejuice musical was a smash success and is actually the main voice I'm mimicking now. This isn't actually my best Brightman Beetlejuice impression. This is just sort of a mixture of all of them, and also not taxing my voice too much, because I gotta film a whole video here. But Alex Brightman's Beetlejuice brought back the character in a whole new way that everybody loved. The musical is way better than you would ever think a tie-in musical to Beetlejuice could be. Especially considering I don't think Tim Burton was even involved in the project, really. However, all of the music is so famous that you probably associate most of the songs with the character. All you gotta do is say my name. Everyone who just sang along dies in 10 days. However, Eddie Perfect's original score for the musical was so much better than the final version. Any of my friends who know me and listen to me know that I'm gonna rant about this and they're probably skipping this part of the video, but you should stay, especially if you haven't heard the original demos, because they're so good. And it gives tons more development to characters like Barbara and Adam. The song The Children We Didn't Have, it gets me right in the feels. I mean, just the title is pretty self-explanatory. The children we didn't have, don't call. Oh, looks like somebody's stabbing me with emotion. Their heights aren't marked with pencil on the wall. Oh, what's that? I've been shot with emotion. I've been shot 57 times. The daughter we didn't have moved in. Oh yeah, no, just keep stabbing me to death, why don't you? Oh. Those were actual pain noises. I actually stabbed myself. Why did I do that? Oh, that hurt.
You two, don't worry, that's not some. It's a plastic knife, it's a plastic knife. What's this now? I'm gonna get struck for saying arms, the words.
So as much as I love the original musical, and it is so good, the demos definitely deserve a listen if you haven't heard them already. This musical would, of course, launch Alex Brightman into a next level of stardom. He was famous before. I love a ton of his stuff, like Lenny the Great, a little bit. That sinking Goosebumps, the musical he was in for some reason. And of course now he's really famous for playing Fizzarolli on Hell of a Boss, doing pretty much the same character at Viv's request. It doesn't matter what video I make, you find a way to make it in here, don't you? But after the success of the musical, it was only a matter of time before they finally made a sequel to the original movie. Beetlejuice was released in 20-something or other, and I don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, is it as good as the original? No, not even close. But is it a really good movie? Yes. Am I glad it was made? Yes. It's a confused mess, and from a screenwriting perspective, probably one of the most atrocious examples of overcomplicating way too many plot pieces going together that has ever existed. But I mean, come on, man. Someone left the cake out in the rain. This movie came out to lukewarm fan reception, but I think over time it's gotten a bit of a better reputation. I know personally when I first watched it, I was like, oh, that was okay, but nothing like the original. But every time I watch it from now on, it's kinda got this little bit of charm to it, and it just gets better every single time. I can see this movie aging pretty well, and maybe joining the original in its status when this current generation grows up. Which is a horrifying thought. I suppose I should cover the problems with this movie. Jenna Ortega's whole plot line is kinda like, okay, you already made Wednesday. Why do we have to have another movie where Jenna Ortega falls in love with a semi-attractive tall guy only to realize that he's a monster? And with that, we finished the mainline Beetlejuice series. But it does leave me some questions. Like, what is up with all this? Pretty much every single one of these projects, aside from the movie and its sequel, exists in a completely different universe that contradicts itself so many times. But what if I told you it all makes sense? What if I told you that I'm so delusional, I managed to convince myself that it is all one properly thought out timeline? Let's go see. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa won't forget you and he'll feed you a bird. Oh, shh. Stay quiet. Kid's asleep. You know how long it takes to get this thing down? Forever! So be quiet! Now the Beetlejuice franchise is admittedly quite a confusing one. Something as simple as the rules "say my name 3 times" is completely lost on most audiences who have no idea if it has to be 3 times in a row, 3 times with only a few words in between, 3 times by the same person. So basically, here's how it works. Say his name 3 times in a row. It must be spoken unbroken by the same person. Keep in mind, although people say his name in conjunction a few times and then are afraid that he will be summoned once they say it again, he never is. Even when Lydia specifically goes out of her way to try and summon Beetlejuice, he seems to be under the impression that saying his name 3 times in the general same timeline, I suppose, will summon him. However, we never see that happen, and although it might have been the original intent, keep in mind, I'm delusional, trying to make this whole franchise work. So instead, we're only going off of what we see, which is Beetlejuice being summoned when his name is said 3 times in a row, as referenced by my earlier opening sketch, which was so funny and you all loved. And also, I definitely will have time to do.
The video gets uploaded in 3 hours and I still have to do that.
It has to be stop motion. I'm not gonna forget. That'd be dumb. As for the afterlife, it seems completely different across every single version. I'll admit that. In the original movie, it's this weird liminal office space inspired by German artists and, I don't know, other gross Europeans or something. See, it's funny because Beetlejuice himself is French, which is the grossest of the Europeans. And they get a lot of angry comments for that one. Meanwhile, in the animated series, it's this kind of Badlands-inspired Grand Canyon-looking place with a bunch of houses and just citizens that have lives, jobs, and government contracts to fulfill. He becomes the mayor at one point. The afterlife has an elective mayor. They have democracy in the afterlife. They have democracy in the Beetlejuice afterlife. They don't even have that in America anymore. Meanwhile, in the musical, it's kind of this black liminal space with all these little spirally, squarey things that like go inside each other like a trippy optical illusion. And also, there's just people there. It's just a black void with people standing in it. There's constraints to being on a stage, okay? However, I think I found a way for all of this to work. There's 3 sections of the Beetlejuice afterlife. You see, there's the main section where people go to when they first die. This is the waiting room, the offices, that whole system meant to help ghosts and the newly dead. That's what we've seen in the first movie. However, in the second movie, we return there again, only to learn about something called the Great Beyond.
No!
To somewhere called the Great Beyond. The Great Beyond is never actually shown in the second movie. However, we know it's where most spirits go when they die and they don't have complications like the Maitlands did with being ghosts. So in theory, the Great Beyond could be the afterlife that we see in the Beetlejuice cartoon. The only thing that doesn't go with this is the idea that Beetlejuice himself can go to the Great Beyond, but I mean, I do what I want. I follow my own rules. I'm a bit of a captain. I microwave my tea water. And additionally, this means that outside of the office space, before you get to the Great Beyond, we can have that inky blackness where all the spirits are just kind of wandering around. That can be the musical's version of the afterlife, which means that we're able to piece together all of these franchises. Oh, right, his mom. In the musical, they reveal that Beetlejuice's mother is actually Juno from the first movie. She's a much different character in the musical, and is actually the main villain who ends up getting eaten by the sandworm instead of Beetlejuice. Now, an important thing to remember is that we don't technically see Beetlejuice's mom in the original movie. In the original movie, Juno has a relationship with Beetlejuice to some degree. She knows who he is and says that he was her assistant. Sounds like some good old afterlife nepotism. Also, side note, only people who died by what I referenced before with the Michael Myers knife, wink wink, are the ones who become civil servants in the afterlife. This includes Juno and all the people that you see around the afterlife. And since Beetlejuice was her assistant, it includes Beetlejuice himself, which I think is actually a pretty cool idea for his character. He's someone who's so energetic and insane, but to imagine that he had something actually tragic happen to him is interesting. He's probably compensating for it or something, and that's never been explored in any of the Beetlejuice media. And before you say, actually, we know how he died, in the second movie, he actually did canonically die by hanging, which was done by somebody with the same name as him, as well as the same face and same personality, and was the same person. So what happened in the second movie was a sort of retcon. Although they never technically say that he died from the poison in that movie. It's strongly implied, but we only know that his wife died after he killed her. I could definitely see Beetlejuice getting a little depresso that he just killed the one person he loved, and you know. Was that too graphic? I feel like that might have been too graphic. So I still think that the logic of it makes sense as long as you stretch your disbelief a bit, not suspend it. You need to grab your disbelief and just... Speaking of Beetlejuice's death, let's go over how to become a ghost. In the musical, it's explained that the good news is you and your spouse died in your own house. That gives you clout. That means the two of you should stick around. Now, ignoring my horrible singing, because I've been doing this voice for hours at this point, and I'm not trained for it, and now I need to avoid copyright so I can't play the original. This explains that because Barbara and Adam, who are married, bound by life so to say, died in their house at the same time, they have special rules and are allowed to come back as ghosts. There could be other exceptions for people allowed to come back as ghosts, but this is the only one that we know of. Now, let me ask you something. Who else had a very tragic event on his wedding night that could have resulted in the death of him and his wife? Beetlejuice. I know I just said that he didn't actually die the way that the second movie showed with the poison logging out of the server. I can't believe. I feel like this is more offensive than just saying it at this point. Could have happened on the same night as he hacked up his wife, which, kind of makes sense. He died on his wedding night with his wife, which is why, in order to get back into the real world, he needs to marry. This was 100% unintentional by Tim Burton and everyone involved, but it all works perfectly, so guys, just pretend it was your plan all along, okay? So now that we've established that all the afterlives are connected, Juno is always Beetlejuice's mother, and the wedding rule applies to Beetlejuice because he didn't actually necessarily die of poisoning, we can cover the alternate universe theory. In every single iteration of Beetlejuice, the whole story goes differently. In the original movie, we all know what happens. In the musical, we also all know what happens because I just explained it to you. It's basically the same as the original with a few minor changes, the main one being that Beetlejuice and Lydia actually get along better and he's not just a creepy old guy, creepy old guy. And of course in the animated series, there's no marriage issue to even cover because they just removed that. Despite what Tumblr would have you think. I ordered a pack of Beetlejuice stickers on Amazon for this, and one of them was the animated Beetlejuice and the animated Lydia. But basically, every single one of these movies has their own continuity and has to take place in an alternate reality of some sort. I don't think there's ever actually been an official crossover between all of them, which is a real shame. But I think this wraps it up. That is the entire Beetlejuice franchise explained. Poorly, in a really annoying voice that was a fun idea at first, but in practice just really hurts my throat and I think is probably annoying for everybody watching. So thanks for making it through this video. If you have any other topics you want to check out, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any advice for how I can make these videos better, that isn't just get a better camera or get a better mic. I know once YouTube pays me I will. And if you want to stay updated on all the videos I'm doing next, not to spoil anything, but the next one's a creepypasta video. Ooh, you're watching a Beetlejuice video, so I know you'll be into that. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. You know you want to see it. I'm gonna bring on a professional. Yeah, we're getting expensive up in here. So until next time, remember, Beetlejuice's birth name is canonically Lawrence, Ralsei is Flowey, and this has been Tater Animations, possessed by Beetlejuice, trying to do a YouTube video.